rivalries are meant to last forever, while others are simply meant to be. Bordered by an imaginary line, fueled by its close proximity. For the first time in 51 years, a regular season matchup between Arkansas and Missouri. At stake for the Tigers, another trip to Atlanta and a shot at the SEC title. For the Hogs, another step and a chance to dash Missouri's championship dreams. The Battle Line Rivalry begins. From Parole Field in Columbia, Missouri, this is the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Arkansas versus Missouri. Senior day for Marcus Murphy, Marcus Golden, and 17 others. 34 wins in the Big 12, and now the SEC for this senior class. Win number 35 would be one of the biggest, because a Missouri victory today sends the Tigers to the SEC championship game in Atlanta for the second straight season. A Missouri loss, and it's Georgia who takes the SEC East. But to get to Atlanta, Mizzou has to beat one of the hottest teams in the nation, the Arkansas Razorbacks. In the SEC East, the picture is pretty clear. Missouri beats Arkansas today. They are the champs of the East Division for the second straight season. Meanwhile, the Georgia Bulldogs are big Arkansas Razorback fans today. An Arkansas team off back-to-back shutout wins over SEC West foes. And the head coach of the Razorbacks, Brett Bielema, is with Jamie Erdahl.
Coach, you have outscored ranked SEC opponents 47-0 in back-to-back shutouts. What makes you confident you can do it again today?
Well, none of those carry into today, but we've gained some momentum. I think our kids are approaching it the right way. Very excited to play a game against Mizzou to wrap this thing up. We
saw Brandon Allen take a knee to the back last week, limited in practice all week. Does he get the start today?
Yeah, he'll start us. Really has looked good from Wednesday forward, so a little short week, but it's, you know, he's a tough kid, and I think he'll play well today.
Great, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll take it.
Carter Blackburn with Aaron Taylor, and I think maybe the Missouri fans were hoping for Vernon Gary, because the last time we were here, it was 34-0 Georgia over Missouri. The good news is they have played well since.
Yeah, that was really a wake-up call to them, and this Missouri team has been playing good all year on defense, but after that game, they made a concerted effort to establish an identity, a physical identity. Since then, 203 rush yards per game, and that's been the exact balance that Missouri's needed to be knocking on the door to win the SEC East.
Physical play and takeaways on defense, that has been the recipe for the Arkansas Razorbacks, especially these last two shutouts.
They've been fantastic these last couple weeks. Defensive coordinator Rod Smith has his unit playing at an extremely high level. They're top 25 in several meaning categories. But it's been the takeaways, getting the extra opportunities for their offense that has allowed them to post those shutouts. They're doing great at keeping people out of the end zone, and when the ball's in the air, they feel like it's their own, and it's Arkansas's defense that has them poised to be able to book another third upset today.
It is the first regular season meeting since 1963. Now, they met in bowl games, including the 2008 Cotton Bowl, but Arkansas versus Missouri in an SEC matchup. This is the beginning of what we're calling the Battle Line Rivalry, and it is a beautiful day here in Columbia, Missouri. 51 degrees, sunny, and just a gentle breeze, 15 miles per hour. Arkansas won the toss, deferred to the second half, so it will be Missouri receiving the opening kickoff, and the always dangerous Marcus Murphy. 3 kickoff touchdowns in his career, including a 96-yarder versus Florida. And finally, we are underway. Missouri versus Arkansas. Touchback. Missouri will take it at the 25. So let's look at our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. And it begins with the Missouri Tigers with the sophomore from Kenton, Ohio, Maty Mauk. In that blowout loss to Georgia, 4 interceptions. Since then, he has thrown only 2.
Maty Mauk certainly has gotten better as the years progress. He's making better decisions, being more decisive in the pocket. When he decides to leave the pocket, he's doing it vertically and using his legs, which is one of his best assets.
Missouri all black, Arkansas red on red. Murphy in the backfield along with Maty Mauk. Pressured, scrambling out of the pocket. Maty Mauk takes a big pop and gets 3. It's Rohan Gaines, a strong safety, who lays the first lick. So let's look at the Missouri offense, the rest of our Chick-fil-A starting lineup. Jimmy Hunt, critical in the win at Tennessee last week.
Yeah, he's really emerged these last couple weeks and been a huge playmaker. Only had 3 catches a week ago, but they were for 106 yards and a touchdown. Arkansas's got to keep an eye on him.
Mauk to pass again on second down. Pressured again. Gets rid of it. It is incomplete along the sideline, intended for Sean Culkin. The Arkansas Razorback defense dominant in the last 2 weeks, so there are playmakers everywhere, but it begins with Martrell Spate.
Been so impressed watching Spate on tape. He's got tremendous instincts. He's physical. He keeps his shoulders square, low pad level. Over 100 tackles so far this year. 47 will be around the football a lot today.
Missouri faces third down for the first time. Mauk again stepping up in the pocket, scrambling, dropped short of the first down. So that is 3 pass attempts from Missouri, who's been more committed to running the football. Trey Flowers gets the Mauk.
Yeah, it's interesting. Committing to the run is what's been working for him. But Rob Smith, the defensive coordinator, running some stunts inside. They said that it was important for them to stay in their rush lanes. They were worried about Mauk's legs, but that time did a good job of collapsing after the play, using some hustle, and getting him down before he got the first down. Great first series for the Razorbacks.
Missouri knows Maty Mauk is going to scramble. The emphasis has been scrambling forward rather than backward. Rentzer's punt. Cornelius takes it knee down at the 30. So we will see the Arkansas offense. And the big question, what Brett Bielema told Jamie Erdahl, Brandon Allen, although he was limited this week and he had to leave last week after taking a knee. This is Brandon Allen, the junior from Fayetteville, warming up. So the big question has been answered. It will be Brandon Allen beginning the game.
Yeah, he took a knee to the right side of his back, almost a hip sort of injury. The way that affects a quarterback, Carter, is it affects his rotation when he's trying to throw the football. And when you're facing a Missouri defense that has 40 sacks this week, or so far this season, it's very important that Arkansas establish the run up front.
Brandon Allen hands off. Jonathan Williams, right side, falls forward for maybe 4 yards. So our Chick-fil-A starting lineup for the Arkansas Razorbacks. It was going to be an Allen starting at quarterback, one way or the other. Either Brandon or younger brother Austin, both of them from Fayetteville High School, the Purple Bulldogs. But Brandon back in the starting lineup.
Coaches told us this week when we had our conference calls that they loved Brandon Allen's toughness. There was no question about whether or not he was going to come out here today. If he could, he would, and here he is.
So it's Austin wearing the headset rather than Brandon to begin this one. Cody Walker in the backfield. This is a reverse, spinning away to the 35-yard line. Demetrius Wilson. Tigers were ready. They forced third down. Michael Shear on the stop.
Michael Shear's their middle linebacker. Second leading tackler, and just does a tremendous job from that position.
Notable miss for Arkansas offensively. Tight end A.J. Derby is not here. Doesn't change what they do, though. It begins with the Hogs up front.
I've been really impressed with Dan Skipper on tape. Kind of had a little bit of a rep for being a dirty player, but he's tough and physical and plays the game as hard as you can up front. Here's some pressure. How does Arkansas handle those rushing defensive ends?
Ray and Golden, they get rid of it quickly. Hatcher picks it up. First down Arkansas, negating those ends that you love.
Shane Ray and Marcus Golden are the most prolific sackers in the SEC. Do a tremendous job from that position. They slide protect, but you're right, Carter. They got rid of the football quickly. I would also expect Arkansas to move the pocket and change the release point for Brandon Allen, so when you get those third down situations, he's not a sitting target.
Unlike the Tigers and a lot of teams around college football, the Arkansas Razorbacks are in no hurry.
No, they are not.
Play fake. Allen. First deep shot is knocked away by Braylon Webb, the senior strong safety. Chick-fil-A starting lineup for the Missouri defense, and we've already discussed Marcus Golden and Shane Ray, as we will all day. They're that good.
These guys have had a tremendous year. 22 combined sacks, leads the SEC in terms of duos that get after the quarterback. That's why first down success, something Arkansas didn't get on that last play, is so important so that they can stay in third manageable situations where Missouri has to respect the run.
Brandon Allen out of the shotgun, complete near the first down. That's Hunter Henry who makes the grab. So it's usually the tight end duo of A.J. Derby didn't make the trip, and Hunter Henry makes the first catch short of the first down.
Hunter Henry's been such a playmaker for these guys. These tight ends on an offense that is run-based really uses those guys a lot in play-action passing. Here's our first big third critical down. Missouri does a good job, but let's see how they do against those big hogs up front.
Toss. Williams has the first down, just enough. Michael Shear there on the stop. Aaron, take us through the Arkansas keys to the offense.
Well, I think they need to run wild. Believe it or not, they've averaged less than 140 yards and 3.3 yards per carry in their last 3 games. They've also got to take the pressure off Brandon Allen. But also, points are going to be at a premium in a defensive-based contest, so they've got to be able to finish drives when they get down low in the red zone.
8th play of the opening drive for Arkansas. Already 4 minutes off the clock. They lead the nation in time of possession. Keep it on the ground, Collins. Just a couple on first down. So, Aaron, your keys for the Missouri defense today.
Well, in their 2 losses, the similarities were at home against teams that could run the football. So I think they've got to keep Arkansas under 200 rushing yards today and maybe 4 yards per carry. And then also the play-action pass. They've got to be disciplined with their eyes. Trust their keys, because Arkansas will suck you in, make you commit to the run, and then make you pay for it up top.
There's Dave Steckel, who has done an outstanding job. Been with Gary Pinkel the whole time here at Missouri. 14th season. 6th as defensive coordinator. Draw. This is Jonathan Williams. Cutback. Williams, blockers ahead, gets back to near the first down. So this is going to be 3rd and short. Mark him down near the 30 after a gain of 14. 3rd and about 4.
That was an excellent run that time by Jonathan Williams. His ability to start and stop. He's typically a downhill physical runner, but I liked his acceleration there. Missouri's defense overcommitted to the left side. He was able to bend it back, keep it alive, and get vertical.
Already the 10th play of the drive. 3rd and 4 Arkansas. Allen complete to the outside. First down Arkansas. That is Jared Cornelius, the true freshman from Shreveport, Louisiana. Braylon Webb there on the stop. Move the chains again.
When you have soft coverage, you're going to take advantage of it. This is a out from the far hash. That takes a tremendous amount of arm strength. Coaches told us so far this week, Brandon Allen, due to the injury, had only thrown the ball about 20 yards downfield. That last ball was about 35 or 40 yards, even though it only gained a couple. That's very good indicator that Brandon Allen may be feeling pretty good here early on.
Brandon Allen 4 for 5 on the opening drive for Arkansas. Clock already under 7 minutes in the first. Play fake. Allen. Check down complete. That's Williams inside the 10. Walking in for an Arkansas touchdown on the opening drive. 23 yards, Brandon Allen to Jonathan Williams. They didn't run it in, but it's still Williams taking it in for 6.
It was off of some play action. Everybody was taking off, running with the tight end off the left side of the screen, Hunter Henry. Look how everybody respects. They realize it's pass. Remember, I talked about a key for that Missouri defense was play action passes. Well, they didn't keep their eyes disciplined on that last one. They gave up a touchdown as a result.
A 3 and out for Missouri. Arkansas takes its opening possession into the end zone. 7-0 Hogs. And the fight song says, hit that line, keep on going, move that ball right down the field. mission accomplished for the Razorbacks. Opening drive touchdown. Statement drive by Arkansas. 11 plays, 70 yards, 6 minutes, 49 seconds. So it is yet another touchdown drive of over 5+ minutes. Arkansas best in the nation.
And how about Brandon Allen? 5 of 6 of passing on that last series to 5 different receivers. They were concerned about his health and how well he was going to be able to throw the football. Well, I think he did all he could to erase the doubts about how he's feeling early on in this ball game throwing the ball.
A good start for Brandon Allen and the Hogs. The ball falling off the tee has become an early theme. I think they're getting back to me for saying it was a gentle breeze at 15 miles an hour prior to kick, but keeps falling off.
Never can trust weather, Carter. You know that.
So McFain will yet again get a little help and try and keep it away from Marcus Murphy. Murphy lets it bounce. Another touchback. Mauk, handoff, Hansborough. Maybe 3. Chance for us to look at the keys for the Missouri offense, Aaron.
Well, I think that they've got to run the football and win that battle up front. They came out and threw 3 passes and went 3 and out. They've got to be able to run that football today here and mistake-free. Too many penalties a week ago against Tennessee. Stalled a lot of drives and took them out of field goal range. They got to play smarter today.
Out of the backfield to Hansborough. He slips, falls, loses yardage, 3rd and long for Mizzou.
And this is a chance for Trey Flowers and Darius Philon, 2 of the defensive linemen for Arkansas, to be able to get after the passer and create some havoc of themselves. Remember, one of their goals was to affect Maty Mauk. I would expect pressure here, or at least some stunts inside, to try and put some heat from the play side in Maty Mauk's face.
Shutout wins over LSU and Ole Miss, back-to-back weeks for Rob Smith's Arkansas D. Playing coverage on 3rd and 12. Mauk down the middle, it's complete. Bud Sasser makes the grab, another one of the Missouri seniors, to move it into Arkansas territory on a 17-yard completion.
That time Arkansas only rushed 3 and dropped 8, but they were too soft in their coverage. And to Maty Mauk's credit, he found Sasser just on a simple slant route inside the coverage behind the linebackers in front of the safeties for the first.
Mizzou has converted twice on 3rd and 12 on this drive. Ball complete. Sasser to near the 30.
Pass complete to number 21, Bud Sasser.
He was bad against Georgia, Maty Mauk. The numbers not great after that, but good enough, right?
Well, they've improved. You can see the touchdowns. He's finding the end zone, but also the decision making. Those interceptions going from 4 to 2 have been a big reason why Missouri's won 5 straight.
Hansborough cuts it back and is dropped. It's going to be 3rd down. That's Winston, Jamichael Winston, the big sophomore from Pritchard.
Yeah, from Pritchard, Alabama. You see Brooks Ellis flashing in the hole. That's what forces the back outside, and it plays right into Winston's hands. That defensive line for the Arkansas Razorback is among the best in this conference, so deep. But here's another opportunity for Missouri to run the football and control this line of scrimmage.
On 3rd and 1. Hansborough dropped short. 4th and 1 from the 29.
Darius Philon there. I've been so impressed again with this defensive line from Arkansas with their pad level, the way that they shed blockers. Look at that penetration. He gets up inside and just blows the offensive lineman up. Penetration is the best thing that a defensive lineman can do against the run. A 4th down situation here for the Tigers.
Offense stays on the field for the 13th play of this drive. 4th and 1. Hands off, Hansborough. Bounces outside, stretches. Where is the football when Hansborough is dropped? Ellis and Spate had the opportunity. Hansborough spins away and converts on 4th and 1, barely.
That was an excellent run that time by Hansborough, getting north and south, and the missed tackle by Arkansas helped it.
Missouri hurries up again on first down. It's Marcus Murphy. Stretch, dropped for a loss. Thank you. Let's go back to the fourth down.
Again, you talk about penetration. Arkansas up front resetting the line of scrimmage, but he was breaking tackles. He's got tremendous lower body strength. He keeps his legs driving. Look at this. He gets hit in the hole, spins away, gets north and south, making people miss. Tackling was one of the crucial keys that defensive coordinator Rob Smith talked about, and it just hurt the Hogs on that last one.
Empty backfield, second down. Mauk flings to his tight end, Sean Culkin. Third down coming up again for Missouri. Martrell Spade stops Culkin.
And that's what's hard about throwing the football all the time, Carter. As an offensive lineman, you want to establish that physicality early. It's easy to dial it back, but it's hard to be passive-aggressive and pass set and then have to turn it up and be physical. And I think that that's affecting Missouri here early.
3rd and 4 to begin the second. But for now, that is the end of the first quarter with the score Arkansas 7, Missouri nothing. And what I have to say, it was a pretty impressive culinary performance by Grand Crew. And then say gastric performance by you and everybody else.
I'm a Bart guy. What can I say?
This is not staged. This is what Aaron gets when he goes to the buffet.
I'm just glad they didn't have a picture of me at the dessert table. That's all I'm saying.
Favorite part of Thanksgiving meal?
Being with you guys, man. If I couldn't be with my family, honestly, it's nice to be with my road friends.
Some melted cheese on top of that one.
Well,
First play of the second quarter, 3rd and 4. Maty Mauk pressured and sacked. Back at the 37, and it's the senior captain, Trey Flowers, who brings down Mauk.
I noticed in the game a week ago that Taylor Chappell on the right side, this is the type of pocket that you want, but Trey Flowers uses a great spin move and then just stays alive.
Trey Flowers, 10 days before signing day, Arkansas asked him to visit. They offered him last minute. Other than that, he did not have a major conference FBS offer. You go from that to deciding in his senior year to come back and forego the NFL. 52-yard attempt from Andrew Baggett is good. Gary Pinkel said when you have a struggling kicker, the only thing you can do, stay positive. Stay positive. Despite the misses in Knoxville, 52-yard attempt, and Andrew Baggett puts an end to the Arkansas shutout streak. 3 on the board for Mizzou. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jamie Erdahl, our CBS crew, Wade Robinson on stats, John Tobias spotting up here in the booth. Happy Thanksgiving weekend to you. What a drive for Missouri against that Arkansas defense who hadn't been scored on in 27 days.
Not a whole lot of third down defense getting played by either of these guys. Both sustaining extremely long drives. This is only the second time that Arkansas is getting this football. They were extremely balanced on their first drive. Let's see how they respond here the second time that they're in control of the football.
Look, this comes down to a fourth quarter game like so many have for Missouri. How big is Andrew Baggett, the kicker's confidence after a 52-yarder?
That was huge, and I think that was also important for this Missouri offense. They did a great job of moving the football down the field. But to Arkansas's credit, they came up with a huge sack by Trey Flowers on third down that pushed them back, but they were still able to come away with some points.
Baggett's kickoff. Collins will take a knee, so Arkansas gets it at the 25. Brandon Allen, the junior quarterback, took the knee in the back last week. He has been sharp in the beginning for the Razorbacks, including a touchdown pass. Allen running behind that big Arkansas line. Now, I told you it's the biggest anywhere in football, bigger than any offensive line, but we wondered, how does it compare to the 1964 undefeated national championship team? An offensive line that featured Jerry Jones at 6 foot, 195. So average 6'2", 212 compared to 6'6", 328.
Times have changed, Carter. Times have changed.
Play action. Allen dropped. Third down coming.
We talked about Shane Ray's ability to be able to get after the quarterback. This was play action. The defensive linemen have to be able to stay in line, but he beats Dan Skipper inside again. That forces Allen up inside for the no gain. Their trusty left tackle, Dan Skipper, having troubles early on in this game blocking Shane Ray. Arkansas needs to chip him with the back or line a tight end up on that side to maybe give Skipper some help.
Ray 13.5 sacks. That is 3rd in the nation. Third and 8 draw. Williams straight ahead. Arkansas first down. 3rd and 8 draw to the tailback Williams, and the Razorbacks convert.
We talked about that size advantage, Carter. Look at the hole that Williams has to run through. It's massive, and he just takes advantage of it. It puts him in a one-on-one situation with the safety. Some good cross blocking. Finally gets him down to the ground after a huge gain on 1st or 3rd down. And what that does is it nullifies the pass rush. Now the defensive line from Missouri is forced to make a decision. Do they rush hard and come upfield? Because that's what they did on that last one, and it got them beat.
So back Arkansas out of the red zone. 1st and 20. Well, it is Jonathan Williams again, the junior who's already over. Correction, it's Alex Collins.
Number 3, Alex Collins.
Well, they're both really good. 7 combined 100-yard rushing games for Williams, the junior, and Collins, the sophomore.
What a nice 1-2 punch. And when you have depth at the running back position, you always have a fresh back out on the field. Similar in styles, but again, I think what separates Collins from not only Jonathan Williams and other backs in the country is his tremendous vision.
Collins gets a breather. Now it's back to Jonathan Williams, the junior, who's 4th in the SEC in rushing yards, over 1,000 on the year. Williams bounces right, shaking his way inside the 15. Finally dropped by Braylon Webb. Arkansas 66% touchdowns in the red zone, brought to you by Verizon.
We talked about Arkansas needing to be efficient once they crossed the 20. They really struggled against Ole Miss a week ago, particularly down low on the goal line. Points are at a premium. This is shaping up to be a pretty defensive game. Arkansas needs to be able to find a way to pick up a first down or get this football into the end zone.
Allen, slant, caught, inside the 5, touchdown, Keon Hatcher. Takes the blow and keeps going. Razorback touchdown. 12 yards, Allen to Hatcher.
Keon Hatcher just in a one-on-one situation. Beats Dennis inside. Makes a tackle and a nice second effort with the leg drive to get the football across the end zone. That was an excellent job that time by Arkansas, doing what they needed to do, which was finish the drive.
Hatcher mano-a-mano with Ian Simon, the safety, at the goal line. Hatcher wins it. Allen has a pair of touchdown passes. Only pass of the drive by Brandon Allen goes for his 2nd touchdown. PAT is good, and it's 14-3 Arkansas on Missouri. Only 1 pass on that 6-play drive. Remember, it began with a big punt return, but Brandon Allen, who was a question mark before this game, pair of touchdown passes for the Hogs.
Been very efficient throwing the football, 7 for 10 today so far. That's a percentage of 70%, obviously, but been effective and mobile enough. And that offensive line, again, taking control at the line of scrimmage. I mean, Arkansas, when you look at yards per play.
It'll be McBain kicking off. Murphy from inside the 10. Catches this one cleanly after the muff punt. And Murphy gets it out to near the 30 for Mizzou. Hansborough taking Aaron's advice, taking it to near the 35.
And what I love about that is that's a big 5-yard pickup. You get some confidence. You can establish a rhythm. That's a tough physical Arkansas defensive line that they're playing against. But when you don't run the football, it sends the message to your guys up front that you don't think they can get it done, where clearly on that last play they can.
3rd and 5. Mauk rolling out of the pocket. He has room to run. Scrambling for a Missouri first down and getting out of bounds at the 42. Tywan Johnson forces him out of the pocket, but Maty rolls for a Mizzou first down.
And that's huge. That'll shake the cobwebs out of his head and give him some confidence. Running the football is an area that he feels extremely confident in, but it's important that he stays in the pocket and gives his receivers time to get open and complete some passes.
2 timeouts left for Mizzou. Mauk pressured again, escaping Trey Flowers, and now throws it away. Flag down.
Going to be another foolish penalty by Darius Philon, number 91.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense, number 91. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You love the effort and the hustle for Philon to get over there, but you got to be smarter than that, because now Missouri has the football across the field with under a minute to play. In a couple plays, they're within field goal range, and that would be a huge way for them to get some momentum as it put some points on the board here before halftime.
Baggett already hit a 52-yarder, which means Missouri at the 35-yard line of Arkansas would be in field goal range.
This time they keep in Marcus Murphy to help out possibly in pass protection.
Instead, Murphy out of the backfield makes the grab. It's inside that 35. Tigers are in field goal range. Tevin Mitchell makes the stop. Murphy just short of the first down. Gary Pinkel will use one of his 2 remaining timeouts. 43 seconds before the half. Missouri has 1 timeout left, trailing 14-3. Oh, the life of a kicker. You're the GOAT last week as he missed 2 PATs and a field goal allows Tennessee back in the football game. And now Andrew Baggett's nailed a 52-yarder, and you're within his field goal range again here at Faurot Field. And so now you have options at the end of the half. 43 seconds.
And with it being 2nd and short, play action would be a nice call here to suck the defense up, but they're going to drop back.
Mauk pressured, rolling, and he will take the sack at the 41, pushing Baggett and the Tigers out of field goal range.
The worst thing you can do in a 2-minute situation is to give up pressure and give up a sack. A lot of seepage. Maty Mauk has nowhere to go, and the Hogs come up with another huge sack. That's several times we've seen them today come up with big plays, rushing only 4 when they've needed it.
36 seconds. Now you go from 2nd and 1 to 3rd and 9. No timeouts. This drive began on the 7th. Mauk over the middle, delivering on 3rd and 9. Murphy makes the catch right near the sticks. If it's first down, Mizzou, and it is. Clock stops temporarily to move the chains back into field goal range. 26 seconds. Clock rolling, no timeouts.
And if they get tackled in bounds, they're going to have to clock it.
Mauk batted down. Incomplete. 16 seconds.
And that'll stop the clock and allow them to catch their breath. And for the offensive staff and Josh Henson, the offensive coordinator, to start to think about what it is he wants to run. Remember, Arkansas defensive line up front's been able to get pressure. You don't want to take another sack here and move yourself even further back. I'd look for this football either to be a draw inside or to come out of Mauk's hands quickly.
And then Mizzou will have to hurry to the line. They're right at the edge of Baggett's field goal range. Mauk scrambling out of the pocket. He's going to have to heave it downfield, and it is incomplete. So Mauk gets rid of it this time. 9 seconds on the clock. Flowers applying the pressure. And with 9 seconds, no timeouts, Gary Pinkel sends the field goal unit on.
And that last time they had Marcus Murphy lined up to the right, looking like he was going to give some help to Taylor Chappell, the right tackle. But Murphy free released, and again, it was pressure off that right side that flushed Maty Mauk. We watched them on tape and against Tennessee when there was pressure on that right side. he would bail the pocket.
Officially 50-yard attempt here for Andrew Baggett. Nobody has a timeout left. Baggett's 50-yarder to close out the half is good. It has been a bumpy ride through 2014 for Missouri, but they have found a way. And that drive at the end of the first half may encapsulate the Tigers' season, from nearly handing Arkansas points to putting 3 on the board with a 50-yard field goal. Arkansas 14, Missouri 6 at the half. 50-yarder from Andrew Baggett after he was so inconsistent a week ago.
Clean snap and hold, and he just looked fluid through his delivery. He kept his head down, and that ball was perfectly placed. That would have been good for 58.
14-6 Arkansas on Mizzou. Here's Jamie with Brett Bielema.
Coach, after being questionable to start this game, your thoughts on Brandon Allen's first half?
You know, he's played pretty well. Our problem has been BA. We've been jumping off sides. They're doing a little move call up front. It's getting our D linemen. We got to be poised out there.
I was going to say, how influential has the attack from your D lineman been on holding them to just 1 field goal?
Well, I think the big thing, our guys up front know what they believe in, and that's getting pressure on the quarterback. He's not a tall guy trying to make him throw out of the hole. We just got to continue, and, you know, we got to knock out the penalties. That's our biggest thing.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
That is the end of the first half with the score Arkansas 14. And with that, we send you back to Adam Zucker in our New York studio. The first Battle Line Rivalry game at the half, 14-6, Arkansas on Missouri. Moments ago, Jamie with Missouri head coach Gary Pinkel.
Arkansas is known for getting the ball and keeping the ball. How do you keep them off the scoreboard again in the second half?
Well, they had one long drive, and then the other touchdown was a short drive. Field position, turnovers from kicking game, and such. And so, you know, give them the longest fields we can, and offensively we got to do a better job.
Can Maty Mauk do anything differently this half?
Well, he did some good things. You know, he's got to get a little bit of help, but we're going to battle.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thanks.
14-6 Arkansas. 9 penalties in that first half for Arkansas. Not a very clean half, really, for either side. So how do you do better in the second half?
Well, we knew that this was going to be a defensive battle, but I think for Arkansas, they got to just eliminate the penalties and play smart. Stop trying to make the great play or the great block. Just simply execute. And for Missouri, you have to run the football. They came into this game on this 5-game win streak, averaging over 200 yards per game on the ground. They've got to establish the run first. But first, the Tigers defensively need to come up with a big stop and maybe force some more turnovers like they did late in the second quarter.
The longest run by a Missouri running back, 6 yards in the first half. Arkansas gets the football with a 14-6 lead, but it could have been much worse. Maty Mauk, Missouri turnover, overturned on replay, and a 50-yard field goal to make it 14-6. So Collins will take it across the 30, across the 35. Look at our first half stats. As you pointed out, Aaron, 22 rushing yards for a team who's trying to get the run game going.
Yeah, that's not going to be good enough for them on that side of the ball. But look at also Arkansas only has 89 rush yards so far. They were 5 for 7 on third down, meaning they were converting. But because of those penalties, it kept nullifying their drives, and they started moving backward. They've got to be able to run the football and not see yellow flags on the ground.
Brandon Allen, the junior from Fayetteville High School, turns and hands off on first down. Jonathan Williams spinning across midfield.
You can establish the run up front. It gives the big boys some confidence. When you commit to that, it gets you going, and then all of a sudden, good things start to happen. This is the start that Missouri needed to this game, but instead they came out and threw it. This offensive line is the biggest that there exists in the game of football in this country. They need to put this game on the shoulders of the big dudes up front.
An Arkansas win, and it's Georgia on to the SEC championship game. A Missouri win, the Tigers go to Atlanta for the second straight season. Williams gets 3 more. Michael Shear, the middle linebacker, again, they're on the tackle. Well, Williams came into the game over 1,000 yards. His sophomore counterpart, Alex Collins, right now at exactly 1,000 yards. So the first Arkansas running back duo with 1,000+ since '07, where at the end of the season they met Missouri in the Cotton Bowl.
So far today, these guys only have a combined 17 carries. They got to feed these guys.
This is Collins. And he will now go under 1,000 yards on the season as he loses a yard. Shane Ray there on the stop. Inevitably, Alex Collins going to get back above that 1,000-yard mark, though.
Yeah, they tried to crack Shane Ray on that outside. Arkansas trying to run into the boundary, which is the short side of the field. Not a whole lot of room to run there because that athletic defense of Missouri was running to the football. When you gang tackle, good things happen. Now we're going to see whether or not Brandon Allen, after sitting out for the half, how good he feels throwing the football.
Ginger after a knee to the back last week against Ole Miss. Third and 7, incomplete. It was off target, intended for the tight end Hunter Henry. Josh Gibson there in coverage.
And that's not to be expected, especially with that side body injury that's muscular in nature. You take that much time off during halftime, you're going to be a little cold, even if you warm up. We've seen him be very accurate in this game, but the first pass, a big one on third down to start the second half, as you pointed out.
Sam Irwin-Hill. Missouri will be watching for the fake now. Irwin-Hill punts this one. Down perfectly inside the 5. Jared Collins catches the punt of Sam Irwin-Hill to pin Mizzou back inside its 2.
Just extremely well played. When you have that high of a punt with that much arc on it, it gives your players time to get underneath it. Missouri rightfully got away from the football, but Arkansas's got them back down on the 2-yard line. I think the Hogs here need to press them on the outside and let their defensive line fire out and potentially get a safety here. This would be a great place on the field to run the football, but Missouri just simply hasn't done that all day.
Murphy out of the end zone, shoved back. Forward progress, we'll see, but it's out of the end zone, no safety. Ellis. Looks like they're going to give Murphy a couple yards to the 4. So it's actually a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, I thought he had pretty good forward progress there, even though Brooks Ellis came downhill from that linebacker position. He's the second leading tackler on this team. Been really impressed watching him on film, Carter, the way he runs to the football. These dudes love to play the game, and I think their team is benefiting it as a result.
Play fake, 2nd and 8. Sasser goes up to grab it. First down, Mizzou. Away from the goal line now to the 16. Ellis and Mitchell finally makes the stop.
Missouri's doing 2 things offensively. They're working the perimeter with those quick passes, and they're also running quick slants. Those are the 2 areas. Again, Arkansas needs to be firm a little bit on that outside and maybe jump routes. But remember, the Hogs got away with one. Bud Sasser lost his footing. If he hadn't, it would have been a touchdown, so they can't be too aggressive as well.
That's batted, and it is almost picked again with 2 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Jamichael Winston nearly came up with a pick off the deflection.
Anytime you block a pass, it means you've got good timing, but it also means you don't have a pass rush. That was actually Trey Flowers, I think, that got his hands on that football. Whether he's rushing the passer and been in the corner or pulling his favorite J.J. Watt impersonation, he affects the game on that side of the football.
Last play of the 3rd quarter. Murphy right around the 19. A trip to Atlanta on the line. It's either Missouri or Georgia who is headed to the SEC championship. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. 14-6. We'll return to Columbia after this word from your local station. 14-6 Arkansas on Missouri. We begin the 4th quarter with 3rd and 7 with Maty Mauk and the Tigers.
Arkansas impressed man.
Deep shot. Bobbled and caught by Jimmy Hunt. Jimmy Hunt, who has had critical drops for Missouri, hauls in his best catch of the year.
He's just going to run a simple go route and a beautifully thrown ball, but he bobbles it once again, but this time the concentration through the catch brings up a huge play to start this 4th quarter.
44-yard grab. Had a 73-yarder last week versus Tennessee. Maybe that was his best.
And that'll also teach Arkansas to be too aggressive in press man coverage out on that outside.
Murphy around the edge near another Mizzou first down.
I think Gary Pinkel's one of the most underrated coaches in all of college football. If you sleep on this team, you will get yourselves beat. But they need to stop beating themselves if they're Missouri. As soon as they do something good, they nullify it, negate it with another penalty. That's not championship caliber football, and certainly not what we're used to from that man, Gary Pinkel, right there.
Played for the legendary Don James at Kent State, along with Nick Saban and Jack Lambert on that MAC championship team. Big believer in the Don James mantra: win in November, you'll be remembered. First and 20, Maty Mauk, complete. That's Culkin who committed the penalty. It has been since November 1st that the Arkansas defense has given up a touchdown.
Well, it's still early enough in this game that a field goal will do Missouri well, but they've got to make sure they do that and not turn this ball over.
Mauk, 2nd and 16, another deep shot. It's hauled in by Sasser. Another terrific catch in the 4th quarter by Sasser. First and goal, Mizzou.
Carter, I didn't think this was a very well-thrown ball when it left his hands, but Sasser adjusted to it in midair, and it was dropped perfectly inside that zone coverage for another huge gain.
First and goal, Mizzou. Play fake. Incomplete. Intended for Culkin.
Keep a look at Maty Mauk's eyes the whole way. He's staring down his receiver. He takes a quick peek. He comes back, he comes back, he comes back. He never takes his eyes off of Bud Sasser. That was his first read where he wanted to go the entire time. He didn't have to look the safety off that time and still found a way to be able to complete the football.
Checking to the sideline. He's got Sasser on the near side. White and Hunt at the top. 2nd and goal. Ball. Fade. Caught. Touchdown, Missouri. Jimmy Hunt. If it's a 4th quarter season for Missouri, the Tigers get it off to a great start. Mauk to Jimmy Hunt.
Missouri's going to go for 2 to try to tie this thing up. A simple pick route. If you're Arkansas, you have to forget about that last play and get your mind right. If you get a stop here, this is a huge play and still a win for your team.
Mauk and the Tigers to tie it. Direct snap. Reverse. Sasser. Toss. Caught. We are tied in Missouri. An Arkansas defense that had not allowed an opponent into the end zone since Mississippi State on November 1st. Allows Missouri a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. How big was that fumble that wasn't overturned by the replay booth at the end of the first half? I mean, Arkansas had a chance to go up 21-3 before the half.
Finishing blocks, finishing plays, finishing drives are the way you finish out the season strong.
Touchback, Arkansas will get it at the 25. So instead, Brandon Allen and the Arkansas offense, who are capable of bleeding a lot of time off the clock. Alex Collins takes the first down handoff and gets 4 to the 29.
Alex Collins is a patient runner who's wanting to set out towards one side of the line of scrimmage, and when that's blocked and black jerseys flash, he's agile enough to be able to change direction and still pick up positive yards.
Collins gets a break. It's Cody Walker in. action. Allen avoids the pressure downfield, incomplete. Intended for Keon Hatcher.
I think Brandon Allen is starting to feel that injury. His accuracy has gotten worse and worse as this game has proceeded. That's a ball, A, he shouldn't have thrown to Hatcher, but B, there's just not a lot of zip on it. He's throwing all with his upper body and not really leaving his feet planted to be able to get the rotation he needs to throw the football accurately.
Allen 3rd and 8. Incomplete. He is now 2 for 10 passing in the second half. The Missouri pressure right in the face of Brandon Allen, 1 for his last 8.
Arkansas may need to consider making a change at quarterback. This was wide open, and had this ball been thrown on the money, it would have been a first down. You see Brandon Allen shaking his head saying, man, what I got to do. He's not happy with himself, but I really think, Carter, as this game has progressed, that injury is being felt by 10.
Backup quarterback is his younger brother, Austin Allen. They had to relieve him in the win over Ole Miss last weekend. Murphy, fair catch, takes it at the 15. With just over 10:40 left in the fourth, Missouri gets the football. A chance to take the lead on Arkansas, a step away from the SEC championship game. QB comparison, a big number there for Maty Mauk. Only 1 interception, a fumble that was wiped out by the replay booth. Missouri from its own 15 in a tie game. Hansborough near the first down. Tevin Mitchell finally makes the stop on Russell Hansborough.
Look how hard Russell Hansborough runs the football. If you don't think that that doesn't get everybody around you fired up, that's what you need to get that chemistry going, and that moxie is for your playmakers to step up and make plays, and a great way to do that is to be physical.
A chance for a dramatic fourth quarter drive for Missouri.
This may be a last possession game. Mauk making a change, seeing something he likes here.
1st and 10 from the 25 with a line pulling to open up another hole for Hansborough. He shuffles back across the 40. Russell Hansborough shaking his way to the 50. Turner finally makes the stop after a 25-yard pickup.
Well, Russell Hansborough is going to get the football. They saw that they had leverage out on the outside. Arkansas was lined up with everybody to the right side, but then he just changes direction and changes the field. And finally, he's brought down to the ground by Turner. Just another excellent run by Hansborough. This is the Missouri offense I expected to see from the beginning of the game.
Murphy in the backfield with Mauk.
Here, Mauk making an easy call. Doesn't want the ball to be snapped.
Murphy takes it. On the ground again. Murphy tripped up as he reaches the 40-yard line. Martrell Spate after a 12-yard pickup from Murphy.
When you're getting outflanked on the football to the boundary, Arkansas's adjustment might be to bring an overhang player in that alley so they can't get outside. That's going to put pressure on their cornerbacks outside. Look for Missouri to go deep here at some point because they're running the football so well.
37 rushing yards on the last 2 plays. There's the play action. Mauk incomplete. Intended for Culkin. Winston put the pressure on Maty Mauk.
I like it, but I would have preferred to see a deep ball on that versus a simple rollout or a naked. But now you're in a 2nd and long situation. This is a chance, if you're Arkansas, to kind of catch your breath. As we see Brandon Allen warm up, to catch your breath and find a way to get yourself off the field. That hurt Missouri's momentum.
On the ground again. Murphy, more room to run. Wrestled down, but he falls forward across the 30. Turner and Winston there on the stop.
They're just running in between them. There's only 6 players in the box, and the linebackers are getting themselves blocked, which puts Murphy up to the second level, untouched again for a huge gain on second down.
Murphy hobbles off. Russell Hansbrough in a tailback. 3rd down and 1.
Carter, they may finish this drive with more rushing yards on this drive than they've had all game.
Got 1 rushing yard in the first quarter. Hansbrough takes the pop, dives forward. That is close. Jared Collins makes the stop. Chains will move. 1st and 10 Tigers.
Missouri is hunking right now.
You're in field goal range. Do you send Andrew Baggett out to kick to take the lead, or do you send the offense out for 4th and inches?
The way your defense is playing, I think you kick the field goal here. Remember, Missouri's been running the football extremely well, but they can negate all of that momentum if a very good Arkansas defense makes a play and stops them on 4th down. I think you take the points here and let this become a defensive ball game instead of risking it. I think this is too risky of a call if they go for it here.
Instead, Gary Pinkel sends the offense out 4th and inches. Mauk will go under center. Hansbrough in the backfield with him. Hansbrough straight ahead. He's got it. Missouri converts on 4th and inches. 1st and 10 from the 20.
Shows you what I know. It's clear that Missouri up front has a lot of confidence, and the offensive line, who's played so well this drive, is humming right now.
4-wide shotgun, give it to Hansbrough again. Tripped up as he gets across the 20. It's Spade who makes the ankle tackle. 7-14. Missouri a win. They take improbably the SEC East again. Last year they were picked 6th and won the East. This year picked 4th. 7 minutes away from back-to-back SEC East titles.
Arkansas with only 6 in the box. They may need to think about rolling a safety down. And it looks like they got one playing near the line of scrimmage, backing in and out.
Is Witter, the true freshman, in a tailback. He'll take it. Witter. Tripped up just short of the 1st down. Philon makes the stop on Witter. 3rd and short.
There might have been a hold that time on the right guard, Mitch Hall. But just a good hard run by Missouri on 1st down. You see a lot of hands on the hips by Arkansas. This is good on good right here, Carter. 2 of the best teams in the country at keeping people out of the red zone and getting touchdowns once you're inside.
3rd and 1. Murphy on his senior day picks it up. 1st and goal, Mizzou. 6:05 left in the 4th.
A week ago, it was Arkansas offensively that struggled when it got in the red zone down near the goal line. We've seen Missouri convert 2 4th down runs on 4th and short. Looks like they ended up giving them the 1st down.
All 76 yards on this drive have been on the ground for Mizzou.
That offensive line is taking over up front.
And if they score, there will be less than 5 minutes for Arkansas to answer.
Man coverage down here.
Murphy, spinning, touchdown Mizzou. 4:38 away from Atlanta. The 4th quarter and maybe the SEC East belong to Gary Pinkel's Tigers. Baggett missed 2 PATs last week. Good hold by Braylon Webb. The PAT is good. It's a touchdown lead for Marcus Murphy, Maty Mauk, and the Tigers. 4:38 from back-to-back SEC East titles. Murphy cause to celebrate on his senior day. That looks even prettier if you're a Missouri Tiger fan. Not so much for Arkansas or for the Georgia Bulldogs. 4:38 left in the fourth. We check with Jamie Erdahl.
Well, Carter, as that drive unfolded for Missouri, when you looked in Brandon Allen's eyes on the sideline, you really couldn't tell if it was pain or frustration he was sensing. He went through a couple warm-up throws, but what I found most interesting was that he was planting that left foot and torquing his body to the left, really trying to make sure that left backside that got hit last week stays warm. I tell you, he keeps walking around, he's talking to everybody, but he doesn't seem like he wants to sit still. It's getting colder down here, and he could be stiffening up. He keeps bending at the waist. He just wants to keep all those muscles as warm as he can when he hits the field again.
Excellent report, Jamie. That is critical for Allen and the Hogs.
Yeah, and the coaches are going to have to make a decision because that injury is affecting his accuracy as it starts to get later and later here. It's also starting to get colder. Brandon Allen has a lot of work to do under not the best of circumstances from an injury standpoint.
Arkansas will have it at the 25. 4:38. Arkansas fully capable of marching downfield behind the ground game, bleeding the clock to give Missouri nothing. But it begins with a quarterback. Allen rolling, and it is dropped by Hunter Henry when his quarterback needed him most.
And that was a beautiful throw by Brandon Allen, who actually threw back across his body, which is why the football was a little bit behind Henry. But Henry has to know his quarterback's hurt, and they need their big playmaker, the sophomore, to catch it.
Watch Allen after the play.
Yeah, as he's starting to throttle down, you can tell he's in pain. He's a gutsy player, Carter. You talked about him playing the whole second half, but this crowd of last year with an injury, this crowd's into it. They need 10 to make a play and tough this one out.
Pressure coming from Mizzou. Allen steps up. Wobbler that is caught by Hunter Henry. Right back to the tight end who dropped it.
Hunter Henry, 6'5", 250, but he's a big body. And look at Brandon Allen. He's playing with heart right now. He's got to be in tremendous pain, Carter, but he's just trying to find a way to make it done. Missouri committing to an all-out blitz. Hits him with the safety. Every hit on Brandon Allen from here on out could be the last one he takes in this game.
Donovan Newsome lays that one on Brandon Allen. Austin Allen, younger brother. The backup starting to get loose. The Razorback chances to win this game and Georgia's chances to go to the SEC championship still alive. Downfield incomplete. Intended for Keon Hatcher. Ian Simon breaks it up. 3:07 to go in the fourth.
There's another example of the accuracy of Allen being affected. A lot of his balls are going behind the receivers. Keon Hatcher had no chance to be able to get that football. If he throws it up at that same height but a little bit inside, at least he would have given number 4 an opportunity to bring that down. 10's hurt.
Maty Mauk did his part. Brandon Allen has done his part, toughing it out for the Razorbacks. Screen, Hatcher across the 50, knocked out of bounds by Kenya Dennis, who left the game momentarily. Back in there for the Tigers. Third down coming up.
Allen knocked to the ground again. Interesting, this drive started with them throwing the football. They haven't tried to run it at all yet, which puts all the pressure right there in number 10. Arkansas is a physical downhill football team, but if they're going to win this ball game after back-to-back shutouts and ruin Missouri's season and make big Georgia fans, they're doing it on the arm of their quarterback.
3rd and 5, it's incomplete. Behind Demetrius Wilson, so we're back to 4th down for Brandon Allen and the Razorbacks.
Man, if you're Brett Bielema, I think you have to maybe try and stick with Brandon Allen before you put his brother in, but there was another football that was off target, once again thrown behind the receiver. Allen cannot get the rotation he needs from his torso to come around to put the football accurately in its place because of that injury, and it's costing his team big here late in the fourth quarter.
Fourth down for Arkansas again. Allen delivers. First down, Razorbacks. Henry hauls it in. 2:35 on the clock.
Arkansas is taking short underneath passes. I think that's what they have to do. They have to shorten the length of Brandon Allen's throws. You can't throw deep outs from the far hash. You have to make sure his throws are in front of him where he doesn't have to have so much rotation on the football. That was a huge pickup on first down, or on fourth down, rather.
Coming up later, a play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. Allen, incomplete. Looking for Henry again. Reminder, A.J. Derby, the other tight end target, didn't make the trip for Arkansas. So Henry is clearly the target for Brandon Allen.
And credit that offensive line of Arkansas. They're facing a defensive front of Missouri that has the best tandem of pass rushers in the SEC. 40 sacks they've had coming into this ball game. They have got to be able to keep Brandon Allen upright.
10-play drive, every one of them passes. And now finally a run. It's Collins inside the 35. They're trying to negate that pass rush. Golden on top of the football, but Collins ruled down. Brothers there on the stop as well. 3rd and 7.
To be
timeout.
a good
Arkansas, their second charge timeout of the second half.
So 1 timeout left for Arkansas, 2:11. Now the referee, David Smith, saying they may take a look at that last play. So let's go back to the last play, the only rush of this drive for Alex Collins.
Ball's definitely moving outside of Collins' hands. As he hits the ground, there was movement as he hit the ground, Carter. That was a really good look from the truck to show that that ball was moving and had been dislodged as he's coming down to the ground. That ball's out. It's free.
But does he corral it and then elbow down? That's close. Ruling on the field is Collins down. Golden comes away with the football. So Marcus Golden thought he had the takeaway. If the elbow's down, Collins has possession of it, then he's down.
I don't think he has possession of it, Carter. I think that this is a fumble and a huge play by Missouri's defense. And
After further review, the runner was not down when he fumbled. The ball was recovered by Missouri. First down, Missouri.
Tigers 2-13 away from Atlanta. What a moment for Marcus Golden and the Missouri seniors.
the end of this play, this ball starts to move as he's going down to the ground. But now Missouri's offensive line needs to take over and ice this game.
Arkansas has only one chance to stop the clock. So it's Hansborough on first down. Holding on to the football, he has the first down to the 50. Turner finally makes the stop, but appropriate that it's Missouri on the ground. The critical drive for the Tiger offense. Running the football, Hansborough and Murphy. Arkansas does not use the timeout yet.
The right side of that offensive line for Missouri's been outstanding. They keep pulling Evan Bain, number 77, the center, and he's doing a great job on those car blocks, center around, CAR, on those car blocks, getting up to the second level on the linebackers.
Bleeding the clock, a minute 30 to go. Mauk to Hansborough again. just trying to hold on to the football. He's down at the 50. Johnson makes the stop. And now the Arkansas timeout.
Timeout, Arkansas. Their third and final timeout of the second half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Only chance the Razorbacks had to stop the clock. So now Arkansas out of timeouts. Maty Mauk takes a knee, and it will be Missouri. A year ago, picked 6th in the SEC East. They make it to their first SEC championship game, lose to Auburn. 2014, Gary Pinkel's team went into the fourth quarter trailing by a touchdown. Hansborough leaving, but that is going to only momentarily slow the celebration here at Faurot Field, because Gary Pinkel's team this year picked 4th in the SEC East. And now they're back to Atlanta for the SEC championship game. And you just wonder if the Missouri Tigers win the SEC championship, where do they go then? On senior day, the Tigers rally. 15 unanswered in the fourth. Gary Pinkel and the Missouri Tigers clinch the SEC East, a second straight trip to Atlanta for the SEC championship game, and the celebration well underway in Columbia. Missouri 21-14, Tigers over the Razorbacks. In the middle of the melee, Jamie Erdahl.
I'm trying to chase him down here. He's giving too many hugs because he's being congratulated. Coach, first of all, a happy Thanksgiving. You call yourself a fourth quarter team. How did you get it done?
Well, we just executed real well. You know, it was a battle the whole time. I don't think they scored the second half. So you can talk about our defense, and the offense just started making plays. You know, he asked me about Maty, how can he play any better the second half, and I suggest with his teammates making plays and running the ball, offensive line, feel very fortunate.
And on a senior night, Marcus Golden makes the play.
Yeah, how about that? So I'm real happy. I love these. I love this team, man. They battle, and you know, SEC's championship, man.
And you're heading to Atlanta now. Do you enjoy? How long do you enjoy this, and when do you start to look ahead?
Till about tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, thanks. Thank you.
Hey, buddy!
Everybody's Gary Pinkel's buddy right now. 21-14, Mizzou over Arkansas. 21-14, Mizzou over Arkansas to clinch the SEC East. Now we send you to New York. Adam Zucker with the Dodge postgame show after this.